Hi, this is Matt from PC Games N, and I'm playing League of Legends. As you may know, I've been undergoing League of Legends coaching with a professional trainer. His name is Toby, he's a diamond rank LoL player, and he numbers among one of the top few thousand in Europe. So he's been teaching me a little bit about the game, and I've had about half my lessons by this point. And so what I'm trying to do is trying to apply the knowledge that he's taught me into new situations. So what I'm playing here is I'm playing an ARAM map, which is all random, all mid. It's on a map called Howling Abyss, and basically the premise is that you get given a random champion and you all go down the middle lane, which is obviously not normally how a 5v5 match would work. Normally it would be sort of like 2 down the bottom, 1 in the mid, 1 in top, and then a jungler. Well, here, because there is only one lane, everyone just goes at each other. It's mad, it's kind of like LoL's version of the Hunger Games, just people just absolutely smashing each other to pieces. So we're going to see how I get on. I've been given Malzahar as my random champion. He's a mage, and I do know a little bit about casters, having played as Annie before in a few of my lessons. So we're going to see if I can apply what I've learned about Annie to Malzahar and see how we get on there. Right, here we are on Howling Abyss. We've got 5 chaps here, just opening up my items just to do a bit of shopping with that 1400 gold. It's obviously more on an ARAM match than you normally would have. It means that I can afford to buy this Catalyst of Aeons, which gives me 225 health, 300 mana. That's obviously really good as a caster, because the mana is what I need to fuel my spells, and as quite a squishy sort of character, that extra health will really help. Then the boots will help me get into battle much quicker, and that's what this is all about. So spells for Malzahar, Call of the Void, which opens up 2 portals and like fires a beam. Void Swarm, which is like a little monster that will help you. And then Malefic Visions, which is like deals 80 damage to a single target over 4 seconds. It's kind of, I guess, his equivalent of just a single target, like fireball spell, I guess, but with void style sort of things. So this is a match that I played a couple of days ago. I'm just going to commentate over it, have a look at what I did wrong, what I did right. Won't spoil anything for you right now, but it's 0 for 0 at the moment. But is that going to last very long? Right, you can see me just trying out. I've just bought all 3 spells because on an ARAM map you can level up to 3 when you start. And here we are just trying to do a little bit of crowd control, but already they've got 2 guys in the fight. That appears to be a Graves with a shotgun, and I think I'm still not perfectly great at analysing champions, but I think we've got a Zed, maybe? I don't know what the little guy is that looks like a Tanuki, doesn't he? But no. Right, so what you can see is we're opening Call of the Void there, which basically opens those 2 portals and puts through like almost like a laser tripwire, just slicing through people. And obviously that means that it has to be well positioned, and you'll probably notice as this match goes on, I'm not the best at positioning. Getting better at positioning my character, but it's just these, I believe they're called sort of like skill shots. You can see that I'm doing damage, which I'm quite pleased about, especially this sort of early on in the game, you know, to be able to have a stab at these guys. I wouldn't say I'm exactly trading, which is where you're sort of like obviously meeting blows with blows, trading your health for theirs. But I'm trying to put into practice a system called poking, which is what Toby has taught me now. Poking is where you get to deal damage to the enemy, and they haven't damaged you back. So you're just rapidly sort of poking people over and over again until obviously they eventually take so much damage that you can either finish them off in a fight or they end up having to flee. Got this guy Zed here that we're just flinging our like void equivalent of fireballs out. Just trying to do as much damage as possible. But already he's level 6, so he's already 1 level higher than my Malzahar character. And obviously it's important to try and keep up with the levels that your enemies are at, because that means that you can stand toe to toe with them. At the moment, certainly our team isn't, because I'm 5 and the other guys are 4, which sort of makes me feel good, because I'm a complete noob and therefore don't feel like I should be as high. There we go, see, just being absolutely massacred by those guys. So we've used D there, which is a summoner spell to create Ghost, which means that I can get out of the fight. So the one thing that I found that I'm not doing enough of is using these special summoner spells. I tend to, there we go, that's just dropping an ultimate there. Well done. Shut down Zed. That's something to be proud of, surely. But yeah, I'm not using summoner spells enough because obviously you have, as you can see, I've got equipped his Ghost and Heal. I've still not mastered when they're supposed to be used, and often forget about them. You know, you spend so much time focusing on these upgradable skills that you've got, your Q, W, E, and R, that it's quite easy at the moment. Certainly, I find to forget about the D and F. And also, they're on the row of the keyboard underneath. You know, and I know that's technically very easy to reach, but you spend so much time with your sort of digits adhered to Q, W, E, and R because you think that's where they need to be. I need to be able to quickly fire off spells when needed. But no, I'm not quite grasping that at the moment, the drop down onto D and F. But we'll get there. It's starting to become definitely not second nature, but at least I understand and remember that they need to be used quite often, the time, in the few seconds after it should have been used. But you can see I just got a couple of my little voidlings that were attacking those minions there. They're my little spider buddies. They can help out. But we've got Graves here. Graves. Oh, it's dropped a smoke bomb so I can't see. Obviously, the moment you go through the area of effect on that smoke bomb, you just can't see anything at all. But we've just summoned my little voidlings to try and nibble away at his shins. Can he be taken down? Will we? No. Looks like he's just healed up and scarpered. See, the thing you can see here is I'm on really low health, and I should really be allowing myself to die because I got 2,300, almost 2,400 gold. And the only way you can buy things in an ARAM match is by dying. There we go. Died there. Probably should have died earlier on in the match, I believe. But yeah, in Summoner's Rift, you can go back to base by pressing B. That will take you straight back, and you can purchase anything you want and get healed up. You can only do that when you've died on an ARAM match on Howling Abyss. But I'm making my decisions here, buying the Rod of Ages, which gets me some ability power. Obviously, ability power is what makes a caster powerful. It's always good to think about what items you need. The one thing I do find that I'm doing on this map is that I'm not necessarily thinking about who I'm going up against. Now, I'm not really at a stage where I know the items well enough to be able to tell you what I should have taken, but the thing that you always have to remember is that there's no one set of items that any champion should be using. Yes, as a caster, Malzahar should be focusing on his ability power and thinking about how he can deal more damage, but that might not necessarily be the thing that you need in a match. You might need magic resistance, let's say, if we're going up against a lot of casters, which I do know that we're definitely not. We're going up against characters that are doing lots of physical damage. Didn't do too badly against... Is Zed going to die? No, he healed on his way out. And there's me probably not focusing on what I should have been doing, and I get shut down. But no, I probably should have been thinking maybe about defense items at this point. But I'm rigidly sticking to what I've been taught, which is get ability power, because that's what I need to be more dangerous to the enemy. But probably should have reassessed that. If I knew the items better, I definitely would be reassessing and making sure that I knew that I should be protecting myself and buying armor items that were offering me defense against, Graves' shotgun, which is really dangerous, Zed's ability to slice me apart. But as you can see, the fight at the moment is still taking part majoritively in the middle. I'm not doing too great with my placement of the Call of the Void spell. I need to understand that, there we go, see that one was better, it sliced through several enemies at a time. Now the thing that I find is that I click. There we go, should have used a D there, should have used Ghost to get out of the way. No, the thing that I find is that I click quite a lot. And that's not always the best thing to do. I know that kind of like the thing that's synonymous with LOL is clicking. Is click, 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 click. If you're not clicking 11 times a second, you're doing it wrong. But that's not always the case. You know, you need to be concerned about placement, which means that sometimes you need to take a little bit of time to make sure that the spell you're using is placed. So with that Call of the Void, you need to make sure that that line is over as many enemies as possible, and he's going to be in the right place when it summons, because obviously it doesn't summon quite instantly. It's a little bit, you know, only sort of like a quarter of a second, half a second, but there is a delay. So you need to make sure it's there for when enemies are walking through it. Now, I'm sure for many of you watching that's damn obvious, but for me, I'm still having that point where there's quite a lot going on in LoL at any one point, and especially on an ARAM match, where there is so many warriors coming together. You know, it's 5v5 in one lane. I say it's 5v5 in one lane. You'll notice, as I'm just opening that beautiful ultimate there and doing as much damage as I can, and not feeling like I'm doing too bad. There we go. Took down Zed, I believe. But you'll see on our minimap at the top, there are two guys that just aren't doing anything. And that's what annoys me a little bit on these games. Is it's not just ARAM, it's on Summoner's Rift, it's on all types of LoL. And it's the thing that I'm finding makes it difficult to learn, is that if the other characters don't have your back, then I'm not learning what I should be about team fights, I'm not learning how to combine my abilities with other people's. And essentially, not only are they ruining my learning experience, but they're ruining the game for everyone. And it seems to be, I know that League of Legends has like this reputation for toxic players and stuff like that, but this isn't toxicity in the way that I expected. This is, oh wow, Graves just got a triple kill there. He did really, really well in that team fight, really well, but he did have his backup, obviously. But no, the thing that I'm finding is toxicity comes in numerous forms in League of Legends. It's not just players, you know, insulting your mum. You've got these guys that are just sitting there AFK, and their intention obviously is they've signed in, and if we were to win this match, which definitely doesn't look like it's going to happen, because if you look at the top, it's 22 kills to 8 at the moment, and you know, that's not looking good for us. Luckily I'm looking to choose here. Should I get the ability to power all the health? Well, I noticed at this point that I was dying quite a lot, so I decided that health was definitely something to go for. So I went with the Giant's Belt, you know, the fashionable choice. You know, I definitely want to look good out on the battlefield, especially if the belt is big enough to shield me from these nasty guys here. But no, going back to those chaps that are just sitting there, if we were to win this match, they'd just get XP for that. You know, they'd be able to not level up their characters in game, but obviously they'd level up their account, or at least contribute to it. That's just not cool, guys. You know, just sitting there, taking the credit for our wins. Not that we're going to get one today, but yeah. So you've got those guys, or you've also got people that I've not so much noticed on this match. Everyone seems to be real, but I've played games on Summoner's Rift where I'm going up against bots, and what you've got there is you've got players that have either downloaded or created their own scripts that then instruct a champion on what to do. And it always tends to be like, you can sort of, I've not quite got to the point where I can identify them. I'm not Deckard in Blade Runner with a Void Camp test, but I can sort of tell maybe if things are bots or not, because they're just doing very similar things over and over again, just charging into battle and do the things you'd expect, like casters stay back a little bit, the tanks just jump in and just do exactly what you expect their characters to do. You can see here I'm struggling with not realising that you can't buy until you're dead on ARAM. Yeah, just jump in there, Matt, just get slaughtered, you'll be able to buy. But yeah, so those guys that are playing as bots, you know, again, ruin your lane. Like, if you're in lane with a bot, they're not really helping you, they're just mindlessly slamming away at the enemy, and that doesn't help. You know, it doesn't help the team because they're inevitably not going to really get victory, are you? If you've got a bot or two on your side, that's not going to help. They can't team play, and again, it means that any victories that they do manage to achieve, that's cheating, distinctly cheating, and doesn't help me learn, and it doesn't help anybody enjoy. So there we go, that's me having identified the horrible elements of League of Legends, the bits that I really don't like. Don't particularly like the dying either. As you can see, we've died a few times, but I haven't actually died as much as I'd expect. I haven't been up against real players too much, because I'm only just at the halfway point through my training, and the first half of training is done predominantly with bots. AI bots, I should point out. Riot's AI bots, not idiots online AI bots. But I haven't died as much in this match as I expected to. I've managed to score a few kills, as you'll have seen. Not as many as I'd like, but I'm going to forgive myself, because playing as Malzahar, a character that I'd never played before I was on this match, I think I've successfully kind of figured out which skills are good. You know, I understand that Call of Void is good for taking out multiple minions at a time. That's a relatively decent farming trick. Using the little voidlings to help basically tank the enemies. You know, they can nip away at their feet while I attack from afar with my E. You can see myself here just calling out an ultimate and quickly following up with a Q to just deal as much damage as I possibly can. I think as the match was going on, I was grasping what I was supposed to be doing with Malzahar. Yes, I probably should have focused a little bit more on his defense, because we were just getting absolutely slaughtered. But there we go, you can see I was, you know, putting off that guy by swamping him with my little voidlings. I'm not going to go up well in this fight, I don't think. Unless, can the turret help me out? Yes, there we go. Starting to hold my own here, but it's just too late, you can tell. You know, they're on top of our final two turrets. I'm just not going to... There we go. There's Graves popping off a heal. That's something I don't know. See, I've just popped my heal, copycatting what Graves has done. But it's just not the right time. I need to use heals when I'm battering the hell out of my opponent. And just as they think that, you know, maybe that my health has gone down to the point where I can't sort of stand toe-to-toe with them, then you pop the Summoner Spell heal. And then you're like, aha, I've now got the upper hand against you. You know, hopefully they don't have that ability sort of like ready and off cooldown. But that's when I should be using them, not in the midst where I could have gone and picked up that health that's on the right of the screen there. But it's coming to the final days of this match, you can tell. There's not much we can really do. We're just, it's impossible to push back, especially when there's only 3 of us that are engaging in the fight. This guy that's playing Graves, as you can see, he's a level 17, Zed's a level 16, they're above kind of what I am. I think at this point in the match you'll probably find that I'm about level 14, 15. Looking here, picking up, there we go, the needlessly large rod, trying to get the death cap, which again is a great item that adds lots and lots of ability points to Malzahar. It would help me deal a lot more damage, but I mean, in terms of last ditch attempts to get rid of these guys, yes, perhaps damage is what we should be going for, because there's no way we're coming out of this alive. There we go, that was a kill. See if we can take out Graves. What's that? There we go. That was a nice deploy there to help out the team. And triple kill. That is something that I should be proud of. Yes, death is at our door. Then, you know, they're not knocking, they're brutally smashing it down. But in the last efforts of champion kind, I can score a triple kill. Yes, with the help of the guys, but it was knowing when to drop those spells in. But as much as we're pushing now, you know, we're coming down the lane more to the middle point, but we're not going to get past this little crowd here and be able to push. You can just tell, you know, that Graves and that massive shotgun are just a little further through the fog. There they go. They've destroyed our inhibitors, so they've got super minions, the big guys. So there's you already know. Just look at that score, 35-16. You know there's no way we're coming back from this. Try as I might, try as I lay down Call of the Void. There we go. Zed just getting another a triple kill. Wow. Oh, he's going to take me down, isn't he? He's going to take me down. I don't have Ghost. What am I doing? Go back into the fight. Quadra kill. I mean, you know, at least getting killed, it means that I've got opportunity to buy something else. It's the only thing I can do at this stage. But no, they're at the gates. There we go, that's a turret down. All they've got to do is get on Nexus. That's all they need to get. 13 seconds until I can come back. No, there we go. It's a defeat. It's a defeat. What else was it going to be? No. But you know, I'm not... Yes, a defeat for the record, but I'm not going to take that too much to heart. Just gonna think about that. What did it do? I took on a champion that I'd never used before. I learnt how his abilities work. Perhaps didn't get a full grasp of them, but by the time, you know, I finished, I was using them effectively in team battles. It was just that we were being swamped, we were being overwhelmed, so it didn't matter how effectively I was beginning to use them. It just wasn't going to work. I did notice though, obviously, just not using those summoner spells enough. Definitely not enough to turn the tide, but it could have helped me out, it could have helped me die less. But the one thing that I didn't do, I didn't get pounded into the ground. I wasn't being killed over and over. So to say that I applied the abilities that I've learned playing as other casters to Malzahar, I'm going to take that as challenge sort of done. Not the victory that I was hoping for, but we've learned something. So that's all from my lesson today. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, and check out PCGamesN.com for more.